Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Many people have described the coming elections as the most significant in Nigeria's contemporary history. They point at the enormous economic challenges facing the critical mass of a nation where the gap in opportunities continues to widen between the haves and the have-nots. They also point at Nigeria's standing in the international community, where her pooling power seems to have depreciated to such an extent that not many countries are willing to do business with her anymore. Politicking ahead of the elections is at a level where some are beginning to wonder if leadership will still be about national interest, even when victory is finally won and lost. 4 years ago, Shittu Mohammed was a presidential candidate with sizable holdings in the agricultural sector. Mohammed is now joining us to discuss politics versus national interest and just how the government can go about resolving the current confusion with the Naira design and petrol scarcity in order to create room for an organic regeneration of the economy, even after the elections. Well, many thanks for joining us. And good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Great. I'm just going to dive right into it.
Thank you. Good morning, all.
Perfect. How is it possible to separate personal interest from national interest in politics?
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, I want to say happy anniversary, 10 years of Arise.
Thank you.
They took Nigerian out of into the world. We are proud of Arise. We are proud of our leader, the chief. He has really shown to Nigerian his stuff, which we know during our stay in Lagos. He's my leader. I believe in him. Chief is a very high IQ human being, and we are proud of him. And we look forward to the day Nigerian will use him to better the lot of Nigerians.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. So I had asked.
Then to your question. To your question, national interest is what drives many countries. If you look at U.S. that we copy democratic process from, you look at the China. If you look at the area like Singapore, if you look somewhere like Dubai, the leaders drop their own personal interest and then they go for national interest. They discomfort themselves and make the country great. And today, everybody flop to either Singapore, either US, either Britain, either even new place today we call Qatar. It's a lesson to our leaders in Nigeria. In placing national interest before personal interest is what we are battling with. And we urge our politicians that national interest must be above personal interest because it helps you as a person. It helps you to build a country where your own great-great-grandchildren. Why do we choose you as a leader if you cannot give back to the people? In Nigeria today, how will you be a leader and took money out of your country and laundered that money in another country? And those countries will use your money to better the lot of their masses. That is not national interest. National interest is where, as a leader, even your own resources, you use it to better the country. It is when you have a country that you are a leader. If that country break up, you are not a leader. If that not only breaking off in terms of dividing the country, no. If economically we are down, you are down. And God has even shown us an example during the COVID-19. All of them run back to Nigeria. Why can't they stay in the Britain, US, or Dubai where they keep the money? So for us, it is time that our leaders took national interest above personal interest. And we urge the new politicians, the new leaders that will emerge as from the 5th of this February to please change their mind. they should change their mind in the sense that we shouldn't hear where our leaders are stashing money abroad any longer. And it brings me back to why this issue of cashless policy have to come on board. It's a great advantageous because we can monitor our resources through these cashless policies. Only that we are trying to sabotage it in order to make sure that our leader should not. When you call your leader, people's welfare comes first in your mind. Making your country great comes second, first in your mind, not you as a personal person. National interest are different defined. I can define it in different way. Is it a national interest for you to sell your country's property and to foreigners and then come back and be taking peanut? That is not national interest. Is it national interest for you to kill your own agricultural sector and be importing food? That is not a national interest. Is it a national interest for you to take oil that God give us freely, kill our refineries, and then importing fuel? That is not, you are killing yourself, thinking you are killing the country. You only get peanut from those who sell those refineries to, or those who sell those companies to, or killing and making sure you are the importer. It lasts just for some time. Maybe in near future, you come to also face the consequences. So we can define national, in many aspects of Nigerian life, national interest should be placed above our personal interest. And it's something that we must look into.
Okay, Alhaji Mohammed, how do you situate that with what is happening in the country at the moment? I know that you have touched on the redesign of the Naira and the overall import of the policy. But in terms of speaking about the national interest, versus personal interest, how will you situate that with the conduct of some governors, particularly the northern APC governors who went to seek audience with the president, essentially to request for an extension on this policy? Basically, they're asking that, the new Naira notes should be spent, pari passu with the old Naira notes, even though the central bank has marshaled his argument, almost convincingly to say that we can't allow a situation where 85% of the currency is outside of the vault of the banks, and that 900 billion is still outside that they are trying to get back. Now, these are governors who didn't seek audience with the president when NASU was on strike for 8 good months. These are governors who didn't seek audience with the president when Nigerians were on queue for fuel on Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, up till today. These are governors who basically said little when people are being killed. 41 killed already 2 days ago in Katsina. Kaduna was almost, a war front for several months and years. No audience was sought with the president. But all of a sudden, because governors think that it is better to have cash at hand, they are now asking the president to, have an extension. How do you situate that with what we are discussing? Is this about national interest, or is this about having money, cash, that will be available for the elections coming up later this month and in March the 11th?
Thank you. I'm one of the proponents of cashless policy. And when you have cashless policy, you will be able to monitor the transactions. And then I also believe that our democratic project is too expensive, where you have to spend billions for you to emerge, even in the primary of an election. It's not going to augur well in future for Nigeria. And that is why when people get to power, they go, first of all, they want to recoup the money they get. So this, our democratic process is expensive. Coming back to your question, for the governors to go and meet Mr. President, they have their right. They are the chief security of their state. But for us, we believe that the measure, see, this cashless policy is one of the best things that is happening to Nigeria. People may say the timing is wrong. I want to ask why the time is wrong. If the time is wrong, as a people, policy have been rolled out. What should come back to our mind is, okay, you've rolled out this policy. What are the measures you will take that this policy will work? For us, we believe that the window given by the CBN is okay, but the CBN must take a proactive measure. Proactive measure in the sense that they have to look at what is wrong with the policy. And major two things are wrong with the policy. The disbursement of the fund to the public, which you say through ATM or POS. The ATM are not working. It has been sabotaged. And I want to give an example of what happened in Dede, where a manager left those money still in their leather and put it on the ATM machine. And the ATM machine is not dispensing. Definitely, what are you calling for? So the CBN must now, or EFCC or that, must now take a measure to curb such act. Secondly, banks are in local government headquarters. They need to now take measure. They have security. They should go from village to village within their local government with their bullion van and take these people's money. Those that doesn't have account, open account for them, give them ATM. This way, they will alleviate the suffering of Nigeria in areas that there's no bank. Because you can't expect somebody that is in an interior has to bring his money to the local government headquarters for him to change. And then in the process, it could be attacked because he has no security, he has nothing. But the government that introduced this has security. Therefore, they can escort the bullion vans or any other means, go to those local government areas, go to those wards and take the money, go to interiors and take the money, open account for those that doesn't have. And this is how you will now be able to expand the cashless policy. Measures must be taken. We have rolled out this project and we cannot go back. But you must put measures with which to alleviate people's suffering. This is what I will advise CBN.
All right. I want to talk about your personal work as a farmer. Now, how much damage has been done to the agricultural sector by insecurity, like you've mentioned? And what's the outlook on food security in Nigeria at this point?
For us, we believe that as a farmer, it has the cashless policy has a serious damaging effect because they did not take measure. First of all, there was no enlightenment before the policy. You should have gone around enlightening us, call town hall meetings, and even demonstrate to Nigerians how it will work, and demonstrate to Nigerians that they didn't take that into cognizance, so there was no enlightenment. And then secondly, the farmers are in interiors, and that is why I said in order for you to help them, is for you to take this measure, go to them. However you get to the interior, as banks, you should take that measure. Go to them, change their money for them, open their account for them, because before today, I represent Beans Farmers Association. We've all opened our account. Up to our interior farmers has account. They have their BVN. So it's just for you to enlighten them, and then for you to get closer to them. Either since the banks are not in interior, they are mostly in the urban and local government headquarters, then take a measure. Because when you get to them, as we get to them as a farmer, get to the farmer associations, let them talk to their people, let them bring their people on board. These are the measures they should have took before today, before it escalates. So we are not saying, no, it's not even late yet. You can still call these farmers. You can still go to interiors. You can still find a way of getting to them in order to enlighten them on the advantage of cashless policy. It has enormous advantage. If they go cashless, nobody will take gun and go to their villages and go and raid their villages, because if you get there, you get nothing. Then if you have under the cashless policy, your money is safe. Under the cashless policy, they could checkmate the banditry. They can't even ask you to bring money, because they know that as you are sending the money, they know the account that is going to. So it has a lot of advantages to our interiors and farmers, but they are not aware. So enlightenment is very, very important in this at this time, so that we can reduce and then allow them to know that this policy will help them, is for them to nurture. And I want to urge Nigerians that as good as this policy could be, or as bad as this policy could be, national interest first, and that we must nurture something. It's just like you want to eat egg, and they say don't break that egg. How do you eat it? With all these advantages that it comes with, we must first of all face the music, because you are changing from what normal to what you don't know. So we must be able to endure as a country, as people, and place our country first, because this policy will help us. It will help the country. I'm not canvassing for CBN. Everybody knows, as I'm sitting with you, I'm a farmer. Your crew have been to my farm before, but I've never been able to access Anchor Borrower. But that does not mean to me that because I personally didn't gain from Anchor Borrower, is for me to come here and condemn it. No, it's working, and the cashless policy is working, and even the governors benefit more on this Anchor Borrower. And the governors have the list. They know the farmers. They know how to reach the farmer than me that I'm talking to you here. And in fact, they can enlighten the farmers on what to do, because they gain more from this policy than me and you that we are just now conversing about it. So therefore, it's time that we resolve that either whatever it is, our country come first, and then we cannot be left behind. Right. The world are moved. The world are going cashless. If you get to Dubai, if you get to US, you get to UK, you see us very, very Nigeria are even the best.
All right.
Why not practice it in our own country?
National
so I urge the governors to also try and enlighten the farmers.
All right.
We want to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.